7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome everybody to another W2M RAW review. We are doing the August 22nd, 2016 edition of this show, and we are ready to get into it. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world of WWE, and especially on the RAW brand. Lots of people coming in, lots of people going out. It's very interesting. We'll be getting into all that and a lot more for you guys. And just to let everybody know, if you've never heard this show before, you can find us on the W2M network. That's a great place. Anywhere you can go subscribe to a podcast, go subscribe to the W2M network. You'll get all the info right there. You'll get a chance to link up to our other show, Wrestling to the Max. That's another big show we do twice a week. And of course, we also do another review show, which is Smackdown. So I want you guys to have that info right in front of you anytime it comes on. So go subscribe to the W2M network. But tonight we are talking Monday Night Raw. So why delay any further? Of course, I'm here, your host Gary Vaughn, and of course I got the two guys with me that are awesome. Mr. Paul Leeser is here tonight.
Yay!
And Sean Garmer, the co-host and producer of the show. What's going on?
What's up, everybody?
So you got the introductions done. There you go, everybody. That's who's talking, and we'll be right back with Monday Night Raw.
All right. I gotta get you to give me a Raw thing that has the new song in there, Gary.
Oh, I didn't realize they had a new song. I apologize. You know what? Usually when I watch the show, I usually skip to the entrance. They had the same song for like 6 years, it felt like. So I just got used to skipping past that and just watching Raw. So we will get a new intro for everyone once
it does
is
save you like 2 minutes, you know.
Exactly. That's pain. But anyway.
And when you're trying to catch up, yeah, it's all the help in the world you can get sometimes, you know.
Definitely, you're right.
So we started this Raw with, of course, the announcement that due to a torn labrum, which was not mentioned here, they just said a shoulder injury, I think. Oh, they did mention the torn labrum. He's going to be out 6 months. Ouch.
Ow.
And so the Demon King doesn't even get 24 hours of a reign with the Nakamura Pants looking title, the WWE Universal Championship. So basically, the Balor has to give up the title. Foley has to sort of take it from him. And Seth Rollins comes out to be a dick, basically. And then Sami Zayn, Chris Jericho, Kevin Owens, Enzo, and Cass. They're in the main event scene. Roman Reigns, of course, to loud boos. And basically, we get to find out that they're just going to have matches to set up a fatal four-way, WWE's new favorite match, to crown a new champion next week. Do you guys like the idea of we're going to crown a champion because the next pay-per-view for Raw is Clash of Champions, so you have to have a new champion already?
I mean, they probably had a plan in place for Finn already, and him taking the injury, I'm sure you want to get that belt on somebody quick, so I don't mind.
I mean, it's fine with me. There's no big deal on that. I mean, it is Clash of the Champions. I guess that could make sense. You'd want your guy ready to go with the belt instead of crowning one right there on that show. This whole main event scene is kind of weird to me if they have all these people involved. And what I mean by that is maybe I'm being a little rude about this, but I love Enzo and Cass, but why are they in the main event scene? I can't figure that out. Kevin Owens, totally get that. If Cesaro and Sheamus were a part of this, totally would understand. Not really sold on Enzo and Cass. Rusev, if I can get. Roman Reigns, we're lucky they haven't already handed him the title right now. So saying all that, it's the only one thing that kind of throws me off because a tag team thrown at this doesn't really excite me. It's not like Enzo Amore is really being considered for that main event role. Maybe Big Cass because they've shown a lot of promise and love for him, but I don't know about Enzo.
This is at least it was Cass and not Enzo in matches. So I guess that's okay because they did try to elevate Cass for a while there when Enzo was hurt. So he's at
Enzo
least
gets a shot, right?
to
Enzo's going to get an opportunity, right?
no, they're done. That's it.
They're done. That's it. Okay, I'm making sure because I didn't know if Enzo was going to get a chance.
No, I think Enzo just
okay.
came out there because they're in Brooklyn, and they come out as a team and whatever.
Okay.
Like I think we kind of saw that Vince likes Cass, and so probably to Vince and the crowd reaction would indicate that it's okay that Cass is at least at the same level of. If Neville's going to get a shot, then why not Cass, I guess, right?
Well, that's the thing. Neville, even Sami Zayn right now, I'm not really sold on them main event guys. I mean, I was talking about Enzo. Not that I don't think cruiserweights or guys in a smaller frame can do it. That's not my point. My point is at this point where we're standing, who are the guys that we know are in that picture, who have been in that picture? And those guys have never been really associated with that picture in a big frame right now.
They just got here.
You're right. They just got here. I don't know. I guess I should shut my mouth because Sami Zayn has an NXT championship role. We've had Neville in that role too. So,
well, to be fair though, Neville and
guess...
Zayn really haven't been doing anything since, which is stupid because since Zayn had that big victory against Owens, and then at least Enzo and Cass have sort of been involved in what the mid card and at times main event scene has been, with Cena and everything else. So they've tried to put them in that level. I think it's just they need to have body. They don't have bodies to fill. There's going to be at times where you're just going to have those lower mid card guys have to fill roles that wasn't meant for them.
You're exactly right. And the one thing I'm forgetting here, and I'm kind of fighting my own argument here because I mentioned the NXT title runs, but we saw with Bayley even, we'll talk about that later. But anyway, people that have won NXT titles, either the women's or men's division, seem to actually get an opportunity at a main title on these big brands. So that kind of fights my argument a little bit here, I think. But still, it kind of weirds me out because I still think Cesaro deserves at least an opportunity to be in the tournament.
Well, I think that they want the best of 7 series to be, it's about Cesaro and Sheamus are only facing each other. So, and if I'm not mistaken, that's how they've always done it, right? They don't have them go wrestle other people and then, we're going to go back to the series all of a sudden.
Very true. As far as I've seen, at least on WWE TV, and them doing best of 7 isn't often, but I feel like that's usually how they do it.
I love the fact that Booker T got asked about his best of 5, but he couldn't talk about who he wrestled. So,
Ooh, yeah.
It's that guy that we're not supposed to acknowledge.
the man with no name.
But you can go back on the network and watch Booker T wrestle those matches.
And you absolutely should. But his series in WCW with him and his series in WWE were great.
Yeah, you're right.
Didn't he also have Russell Cena in a Best of 5, or am I just misremembering?
I don't think so.
I thought, yeah, no, it was just Benoit. Okay, but so we have Sami Zayn and Seth Rollins, which was I love this match. It's really good. It's Seth Rollins and Zayn. You really can't go wrong with those two, honestly.
Yeah. How can you? I mean, just those names alone, you're going to get a good match out of both of them. And that's exactly what they did here. I enjoyed also, Sean, I mean, what do you think about the fact that they kind of used the role of Sami Zayn having an ankle injury and him dealing with it throughout this match, and that possibly, really being the honest truth of why he lost it?
Yeah, it was a great story. I love the fact that, he couldn't do the haluva kick to get the win, and so it led into Rollins doing the pedigree, and he did a really good job of selling it throughout the match and stuff. It was just some terrific stuff. Just, again, shows you why Sami Zayn is somebody you can totally root for, and they gave you that in this match. And then the same thing with Neville. You know, he doesn't have that same sort of appeal that Zayn does, but man, he got to show off a lot of just flips here on Kevin Owens, just doing some crazy shit. Just like, holy crap, man. You know, like, wow, this is just Raw. What are you doing?
Yeah, you're right. It is, and I love the athleticism. I love everything that he was showcasing out there, and you know, Kevin Owens is a guy that is big, and he's one of those kind of figures that you don't see people at a smaller frame suplexing or doing anything like that. But that happened, and he was pulling out all the stops to win the match. But of course, we had the interference with Jericho. All of that went down, so. It is what it is. You kind of figured that was going to happen anyway. But still, I think he put out a pretty darn good match. And, of course, Kevin Owens is always great as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and,
I mean...
go ahead, sorry.
No, you're good. I think Seth over Sami is good. It sounded like it was a good match. Kevin Owens over Neville, obvious, of course, there too. But you already got two strong competitors going into your title match next week, which is good news.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, I think you wanted to avoid Owens and Zayn again.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I sit here and waste it all the time at the beginning of the show talking about my little argument about Kaz and all that, but we all know pretty much the big players are going to be playing at the end of this, so anyway.
Well, no, I mean,
I wasted a lot of time.
It was one of those where, like, it's like, okay, do you have Rusev, who got beat on Raw last week and then looked bad at the pay-per-view win, or you have Cass and Enzo who lost. It was like two guys that lost. So it's lesser of two evils, and I think sort of if they're in a situation where they don't have to sort of do much of Rusev, they're going to do it, and they felt like I think they also felt like Cass was the only sort of new guy that they had, so they kind of sort of had to push him that was going to be in this match. So I can sort of, because think about it, if you have Roman, Rollins, Owens, and Rusev, that means you're forcing people to cheer for Roman, right? And I think they sort of wanted somebody that in there that makes it seem like they're not trying to force you to cheer for Roman.
Yeah, that's a good point. I really do understand that, because it just from the fact of the way that people hate the Roman Reigns situation, and I'm kind of one of them. I can't lie. But yeah, going into that match, I mean, you're talking about Rusev and Roman Reigns. I mean, that match on SummerSlam put Rusev in a situation where he shows up on this Monday Night Raw, banged up, injured, and Big Cass is taking advantage of that.
You know what sucks though, guys, is that if they wouldn't have had Roman get a stupid pin on Rusev last week, they could have had Cass beat Rusev this week, and then when he doesn't win the Fatal 4-Way, he can be in a U.S. title feud with Rusev.
Mm-hmm.
But no, we can't do that.
I hate that. I don't like that. I mean, Paul, do you have anything you want to say about that before I move us in a weird direction?
I'm still trying to figure out why Rusev walked out. Like, the U.S. champion doesn't want to prove that being the U.S. champion makes you the top guy and win both belts. I'm scratching my head here.
Not in WWE land, it doesn't.
I don't get it. And
not everybody can be Lashley.
I mean, he's lost everything that's made him feel important, too. Like, he's just a dude now.
Oh, and then it really is stupid at the end where you don't even have Rusev show up at all in that main event. It's like, you got to be kidding me, right? Rusev's been embarrassed by Roman Reigns for the past 2 weeks, and we're just going to act like that didn't happen? Like, oh. And we had praised WWE for not insulting our intelligence like the last month on Raw, and here we go again.
Exactly, and I'm glad that Paul kind of led me into this direction, because I was thinking I was going to be the only one saying something like that. My problem with it is we've got Rusev, who is basically not only fighting for the U.S. title, but also fighting for his wife, who Roman Reigns has said things about, who's embarrassed, and he's basically taken away Rusev's man card this entire time. And SummerSlam was a big hit to that man card, basically just punishing him in front of his wife. In this, now Rusev won't even finish a match against a guy that just entered into the Monday Night Raw brand, where Rusev's been forever. That's another hit to his reputation with his wife and the brand and the U.S. title that he holds. And of course, you mentioned it, Sean. He didn't show up to even do anything to cause Roman Reigns to lose. It boggles my mind. It's almost like Rusev's the scared little cat hanging out in the back. He's injured. He doesn't know what to do. He's dumbfounded. I don't like that. That's not the Rusev that I've grown to really like. The Rusev that I really have grown to really enjoy is that guy that's a heel. He's not afraid of anybody who's going to kick your head off if you get in his direction. I'm not even terrified of this guy one bit. In fact, I expect Gallagher is going to come and beat him. I mean, the smallest guy you can find is going to beat Rusev because he's a little kitten right now.
Yeah, is that the story? I mean, is this something they're going to do with Rusev going forward, or is this just, bullshit? I don't know what to tell you, because based on what we saw in that last feud, Rusev came out looking a lot more like a face than Reigns did, and especially reading what happened at SummerSlam, because I still haven't watched it yet, where he just pretty much destroys him. Like, Reigns is heel, right? This is what it sounds like.
Yeah, it's like they're doing the, okay, we're going to let you think he is, but he's not sort of thing, and it's fine. I mean, look, that match was okay with Rusev and Cass, and then you get to the main event, and the crowd was doing the wave. They were not caring too much for a little while, and then they got kind of around to it, and Jericho, they had some nice near falls in this. They had the spot with Owens getting involved and whatever, but you always knew Roman was winning. Mm-hmm. It was nice that they gave Jericho some thoughts that he might win and everything, and I'm glad that they're not just killing the Jericho KO tag team, because that's going to be awesome, however how long that gets to go. But yeah, just it is what it is with them.
Exactly. My biggest problem with it is Roman Reigns pins Jericho, and it means nothing to anybody in that room, and it almost means nothing to us because we expect it. It's something we have grown to just, expect to see. So I feel like, we've got a situation where he had a little slap on the hand for, being suspended 30 days for whatever he did. And it's like Vince says, okay, hey, take a few seconds, breathe, and push that button to make him launch to the top again. And I really thought they were doing something smart when they were putting him in the U.S. title front, because he's still going for a title, may not be the main title, still going for a title, though. That's important. If you want the U.S. title to mean anything, then make Roman Reigns come and take it and do something with it. Don't all of a sudden say, well, the U.S., they're probably still going to keep him the U.S. title. I'm probably speaking too early. But I just don't like him pushing him to this forefront to make him look like he's the guy that's going to hold that big Universal title up and hold it strong. They're probably going to make him go to the final and probably lose. Or they may make him win.
Well, no, it's a fatal four-way, so it's just that fatal four-way, and then that's it. It's whoever wins.
That's it? The fatal four? Okay, well, then that means he's probably going to lose it, and it won't make him look bad because he won't take the pin.
I mean, it's not like they have a lot of options. It's Rollins. I mean, you could put it on Owens, but then you take out your... unless they... I guess they could do a Owens and then see if the crowd does something with Owens, and maybe you have him and Jericho eventually, because Jericho gets jealous of him being champion or something. Mm-hmm. But Paul, it's not like they've got just a lot of these guys waiting around.
I think you had Seth in the finals of that of the match at SummerSlam for a reason, and when in doubt, go with your guy. Seth Rollins is your guy right now on Raw.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think Rollins is the obvious guy. I would love to see Kevin Owens hold it. Trust me, I think the world of him. I think that, they said, well, if we can't have Finn Balor, we go with the guy that is the guy right now for us, and it's not Roman. It's really is Seth Rollins.
But what do you do? Have Rollins and Roman again?
Yeah.
Oh,
Reigns comes out chasing Seth again. I mean, unless they're actually going to do something more with him and Rusev, there's no point, and you just change gears, and you have to rebuild Rusev again.
yeah, sucks.
Does this put any fear, and maybe not trying to change anything, but does this put any fear in your mind that maybe this Rusev thing is going to just out of nowhere just go away, then he's going to come back just fine, or that maybe they're going to split Lana from him? Because it's so funny that they've spent all this time and effort making him look bad in front of his wife. Do you think there's a chance that she could be like, I'm going, or do you think they're just going to
They've
make
done
us...
it before, though, with making him look bad in front of Lana.
True. That's my thing, is are they just going to make this like, oh, it never happened kind of thing?
I don't know if they'll do it never happened, but it's certain, like, it should matter. If you're going with the Rusev Reigns feud, then you do the double turn and you have Lana jump ship with Reigns. I think that's where you go with that. If you're not, then they'll probably ignore it.
Yeah. I'm hoping for the second. The only person for Roman Reigns is Eva Marie.
You have to wait a long time for that to happen.
Yeah, that is true. But when it happens,
30 days.
Exactly. But when it does happen, we're gonna all be. Oh, at least I'll be happy.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting now because it's like if they don't go back to Roman and Rusev, then that whole thing is weird, and now you've got just the same feud you had before you put Finn Balor in there. So not a whole lot changed, which kind of sucks.
I mean, if they go with Seth and don't turn the corner with Reigns having to go after him, who chases him?
Yeah, that's the thing. You don't have another face. Unless you're going to have, like, Cass chase him randomly.
Or Brock.
Well, you're going to pay Brock $1 zillion to show up on that much TV.
You got nobody else looking stronger right now and in a position to challenge than Brock. He murdered Randy Sunday. He murdered him.
You're right. But the thing is Brock Lesnar, you take the title away, and it goes away for 3 months.
I mean, he murdered him so bad he made Jericho think it was a shoot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Sure.
So
maybe that's for the best right now, though. They need time to change gears. If the title goes away for 3 months, I mean, you have a champion. He's just away being suspended.
Yeah, but then why make the title in the first place?
Yeah, exactly.
Have him be gone.
Because Mick Foley, that was Mick Foley's
the plan was originally to run with Finn, but that's not an option anymore.
Well, you got, like you've been saying though, you got to run with Rollins, and this is where somebody's got to step up. I mean, if you had actually done something with Sami Zayn, and not sort of had him already wrestled Rollins twice in a month or whatever, you could have done that. I mean, if you would actually built up Cesaro, you could have done that, But now they're all kind of involved in their own things. But we move on from here. We had, I think, a good discussion on this. I mean, WWE's kind of stuck in a situation unless they call up somebody. And it seems like Joe is pretty set with what he's going on. I mean, he had to get his jaw reset, but that's neither here nor there. Poor guy.
Another day at the office.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Big props to Finn Balor, though, for having a dislocated shoulder, setting it back in almost immediately, but then finding out he has the torn labrum, which sucks. But so we did have a few other things. They did announce it here. I was going to wait for the next show, but maybe we can just kind of break down the guys on the next show. But they did announce the first. They didn't officially announce them, but they had them talking. So you assume that means these guys are signed. Mm-hmm. And several of them we kind of already knew. Noam Dar. Dang it. Now
Kendrick,
I can't.
PJ
Brian
Perkins.
Kendrick. We did not know about TJ Perkins.
TJ
I think he is signed with Evolve, so it's not a big stretch. But that's pretty cool that we sort of know that he's coming. because that was one of the guys I was hoping they would sign, but I didn't know if he would. And Rich Swann, of course, he was the only NXT guy signed when the thing started. So, yeah. And then, of course, Cedric Alexander has actually been signed, and he's supposed to be showing up in this as well. So, what do you think about the first 5, Paul?
Graham Metalik has supposedly signed too, with the copyright things being filed. So, it's a fine starting roster. You got to make sure you're doing something with them. Don't just let them wrestle. Although that's fine, but just give them stories.
And I expected that we wouldn't find out specifics until much later. They already put it out there so that when that final happens, the next week on Raw, we're going to see them. So, smart by them.
And it's exciting, and we really didn't talk about this on our NXT TakeOver special that we had this weekend. But, they did have a lot of those Cruiserweight Classic guys in the audience, and Kota Ibushi was one of them. So it makes you really curious, what they're doing and how they're going to go forward with this Cruiserweight division. I'm glad they named the 5 that they did, but it makes you wonder who else is getting named.
Yeah, you can't have a division built around 5, so they've got at least a couple more. I mean, unless they're going to do it like with 7 or 8, and you have Metalik or Ho Loon and Neville and Zayn, as your sort of 8 or whatever. I mean, it depends. I'm assuming we're not going to see these guys multiple times. It's honestly, with what we got in the second hour, I don't care if we have 2 CWC type matches every Raw. Personally, I'd much rather that than what we got in the second hour. But maybe that's just me. Right? I mean, I don't want to see Titus O'Neil and Darren Young dying a death out there. Braun can keep squashing people in 10 seconds. I guess that's okay. But
all you need to know about that is, let's just say it this way: Titus O'Neil, whatever, it needs to figure something out. To me, this was not a good promo for him. It was uncomfortable. I don't think the crowd cared one bit, which made it uncomfortable for him. They were chanting for Heath Slater when he was wanting Darren Young to come out.
How over is Heath Slater now? They keep chanting for him. He's the new CM Punk chant.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta love it. And of course, you gotta love that Brooklyn crowd. They're the ones that are gonna give you that type of awesome, stuff. So, saying all that, you could, of course, the situation that ensues where we have, what's his name? The old man come out.
Bob Backlund.
Bob Backlund, one of my heroes, I guess.
That's your boy, Gabe.
I know. Sorry, I got a little tongue twisted. Sometimes I blush a little bit. But Bob Backlund doing the chicken wing and all that on Titus O'Neil. It was kind of comical, but at the end of the day, it really didn't matter. Basically, Titus O'Neil takes out both Darren Young and Bob Backlund, and you're like, whatever. I could care less. And then, you have Braun Strowman come out and squash another guy. And what the worst thing about this is do they not talk to these guys and ask them what they're going to say when they're interviewing them? Because why in the world would the guy that's going to wrestle Braun Strowman say, the reason I'm here for this match is because I like big, sweaty men?
Maybe that was their LGBT character.
Maybe it was. Maybe that's their foray into it.
He needs to look a little more like Dalton Castle if he's going to do it. He did not look feminine at all. I mean...
Wait, hold on. What are you trying to say?
All types can be gay, Gary.
Just saying. Hey, Dalton Castle's attractive, so you got to look like him if you want to be like him. So, yeah. So anyway,
be a star, Gary.
I am being a star.
All these people today.
I like LGBT, the whole thing, what they're doing with that, that's fine. But this did not make any sense with that. Come on. I mean,
if it is, you got both of them beat up. You got Darren Young get beat up on this show, and you had that guy. So
I mean, I'm sure Darren Young wishes he was that guy because, Braun Strowman sure did come in there and... Oh, I'll stop there.
Oh, my God. Seriously? Wow. This just went in a plunge.
I'm just saying he drilled him, man. He took care of business.
Okay.
Be a star, Gary.
we move on. Well, speaking of rainbows, the New Day comes out here, and basically, they continue their title run, and Doc and Carl just sort of they make fun of the fact of what all of New Day does, sort of being the anti-New Day, and then they set up a Carl Anderson and Big E match here, which yes, it wasn't. It was okay. It was not a whole lot good with this Anderson and Big E match.
Yeah, they just. When I heard the matchup, I said, okay, well, let's just make Big E look good for a match, I guess. Have him be the victor so he can stand up and do his thing. That's really what I felt like. This whole thing was kind of a waste of time in a way, because we get it, they're having a feud. But at the end of the day, this is all about Big E being back, being better, being healthy, right? He's shaking his hips like always and doing all that stuff. And, of course, he wins the match. And it wasn't much of a match, but it was a match where he is victorious and stands tall. So there you go. That's all you need to know. Nothing else. I mean, the best part about it was the unicorn full of bootios. That little piñata.
Brock was apparently mad they did not give him bootios during their interview or whatever they have with him.
Oh, how dare they? That is.
Can you imagine Brock wanting bootios?
That is.
He wants to make sure he ain't booty. Come on.
And when you got Sable, I don't think you got to worry about it whether you're booty or not.
I guess. Still wonder about that. She looks so much older. I'm surprised, but anyway,
she still doesn't look like she's aged much to me.
Oh, no. But I always thought she looked older in the Attitude Era.
Right? Yeah, she did. She looked like one of those older women that it just doesn't matter how old they get, they just continue to be hot.
Let's be real. There's probably a good amount of plastic involved in there.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure. But hey, at least she doesn't look like Sunny. So.
Oh yes, thank God not. Oof.
Can you imagine that?
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
That also helps too. A lot.
And she probably would come in your house and put mud on your couch, So.
So continue with the tag team theme here. The Dudley Boys. It was announced on WWE.com. It was a big thing throughout the show. They kept showing highlights of the Dudley's career. And they mentioned the TLC matches. When they mentioned the Hardys, you get a delete chant in Brooklyn. So,
which is awesome.
They're paying attention. I mean, not that, seriously, if you don't know what Matt Hardy's doing right now, I don't know what you've been doing, because he's literally everywhere. And then you have the Shining Stars coming out. They wanted to take us to hashtag WTM Puerto Rico, but sadly, the tickets weren't for us.
Oh,
Shining Stars, if the Dudleys don't want to take your tickets to Puerto Rico, we'd like to have them.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
we got to have that hashtag happen one of these days.
Yeah, we do.
So the crowd even chanted "Testify" for Devon and everything. And basically, now what I've heard is these guys signed extensions. So I don't know why you would be doing a retirement thing unless this will eventually build to them splitting. Or we're just going to retire them into they sign extensions to sort of do stuff in the office. Or producers or something. But I mean, you have Carl and Anderson show up, Carl and Anderson. It's the same person. Sometimes they do feel like the same person, both of them. Doc and Carl come out and just screw with the ending there. I mean, I don't know. This just felt like one big clusterfuck.
Yeah, I really was kind of dumbfounded with this whole thing with the Dudleys, because this is new news, and I really have not seen any reason for these guys to slow down and retire. They've been great for the company because really they've enhanced these tag teams that they've been involved with. They've done a lot of good stuff, and so them leaving was kind of a shock, and I kept thinking, is this on purpose? What are they doing? I mean, is aces and eights in a return, something like that?
You technically did get like 3/4 of aces and eights here.
Yeah, you did actually. But saying all that, I don't know. I was kind of enjoying it just because it's nice to see these guys give love to the crowd. Blah blah blah. It's kind of cool. But at the end of the day, the Shining Stars, it's kind of a crappy team to come out there and do anything to start anything with the Dudleys. But I get it. And the Gallows and Anderson, why are they getting involved? I thought they were busy with the New Day. What's the purpose in that? I mean, is this just to get more hate?
They need to look mean. Nobody gives a shit about them. They need to look mean. If you use the retirement for the Dudleys to sort of get some heat on them, maybe people might care.
The problem is people like me know the Dudleys, and I like the Dudleys a lot. A big fan. In fact, I want to buy that DVD. I love the little table that they have. It's awesome. But saying all that, I want them to be mean to more people if they're going to do this, because the Dudleys aren't enough. The Dudleys aren't winning matches, so beating them up is not that big a deal.
Nobody in that tag division's winning matches. That's a problem.
Yeah.
I guess you're right.
Outside the New Day, nobody gives a shit about who else is in that division.
Yeah, you got me there.
I mean, Golden Truth just pop up when they want to do Pokemon Go, and you got the Shining Stars doing nothing, and Gallows and Anderson, and who else is in it? Well, Enzo and Cass are not winning. I guess Jericho and KO are part of that tag team division now.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. But I will say this. If you want them to do mean things and get more heat, this is fine as a start. But this has to be the start of it. You have to go start taking out singles competitors, everybody you can find. Don't just make this like this is the only heat you want.
Well, yeah, but this you got to start somewhere, right? If they're just going to randomly just start attacking people, then I guess why not, right?
Exactly.
We'll have to see. It's just so funny that the last few with the New Day has been all about comedy. Then now they want to have them be total assholes to the New Day. Then they want to go out and just, okay, we're just going to beat up people. Okay, well, whatever. Possibly the biggest thing outside of the main title deal is Charlotte coming out with Dana. You get two-time champ constantly chanted by Dana during the entrance and everything. And Charlotte runs down Sasha and everything else, that she's not good enough for the women's division and all this stuff, and that nobody's around left to face her. Mick Foley comes out. The crowd's already spoiled it because that's what the crowd does. And Bayley shows up on the main roster that quickly. And yeah, I thought Bayley was fine. Was good here. She was like, "Oh, I don't want to upstage you, Sasha, but or not Sasha, Charlotte, but I want to go for that title." And hey, you have your next big match.
Sold.
Yeah, I mean, I love it. I love the debut, and it was exciting. We all wanted to see this happen, and it's really cool that this has finally taken place. And the one thing I will say is I am thrilled that they did this. I kind of wish that Bayley would have said something about hugging Charlotte, like saying, I hugged you last night because I respected you. It was because, you, Sasha, and Becky have done a lot for me. We've all been together. And then, of course, from there, Charlotte could do what she did and say, well, there's a reason you got left behind. To kind of shut her down from there. I would have loved that. It's okay that they didn't, include that. I think it would have made it even better. I think that would have got a lot more heat for Charlotte. And heck, people that don't know who Bayley is would have felt bad for her after she got shut down like that. It was kind of like, I have respect for you, but, I want your title kind of thing. I think they would have been more heartbroken if they didn't know her, if they was, that would have taken place. So my point being is I'm excited about this. I'm glad that Bayley's here. I sure hope that they do a good job showcasing her, allowing her to build her character on Monday Night Raw. Our biggest love for Bayley was always when she was, thrilled about seeing legends. She wanted to hug everybody. She wanted to be just that innocent, girl.
Well,
and
she's grown up from that a little bit, though. I don't think she can go back to that.
Well, but she's starting over. And you can't have her just be like, I'm a tough person. I'm here. Look at me. I'm kooky. We get that all the time. That's generic. That's every woman that shows up on this roster. There's not many of them besides Tamina that don't have that. You know, Nikki Bella is the same thing, except she right now is playing a heel. If she was a face, she'd be doing the exact same
Oh,
thing.
she'll be a face when she shows up on SmackDown tomorrow.
Yeah. So.
I don't know, Paul. I just feel like she can't go that backwards.
Yeah, I mean, Bayley's. Here's what I mean. You can't go that far back. You can't just have her being that girl on the sidelines, because she's been featured as a major part of that Evolution, or the Women's Evolution special they did. She's been a feature part of NXT. She's really grown up into the underdog babyface, and that's what they need to get across. I don't know if you need to go all the way back to when she's hugging everybody, but just the fact that she's the underdog. She's so out of place amongst people like Sasha, who has all the star power, and Charlotte, who has the talent, the look, and the natural ability, and everybody else on that roster has something else, and Bayley's just Bayley, and that's what you need to get over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
That's
you
fine.
can also have her like doing the John Cena thing, you know, doing the Make-A-Wishes and the hugging Izzy and all that stuff. That's where you'll get the "Aw, Bayley's awesome, she's so adorable" thing, you know.
But how many times have you watched those vignettes and videos and really felt that way? I mean, because everybody does it. Sheamus is hugging kids and kissing them and then doing mean things on Raw. It
But
doesn't mean
Bayley
anything.
does it with like difference, though.
But if you've never seen her before, you're coming from the aspect of you've seen her every NXT. I'm talking about Sally on her couch who only watches Raw every third Monday of the year. And she wants to know who this Bayley girl is, and if they just say, "Oh, she's sweet. Look at her side ponytail. Isn't she cute?" I don't think that that's going to sell anything to anybody. I'm not saying going back all the way either. I don't want her to be Eugene. I don't want that at all. But you've got to tell a story somehow with her to make her innocent, to make her powerful, but not like everybody else. And I think they can do that, but how can they and how will they? That's my fear.
They don't have an underdog yet for that division. It's Bayley. They should have her constantly fighting up from the bottom until she finally overcomes the odds.
Yeah.
No, I agree. And I'm speaking too early. Once again, I'm going way too early, kind of like the Gallows Anderson thing. This could be the start. This is the start for her, but this is, something new. So I'm just speaking my fears. I'm hoping for better.
Well, it's good that you're speaking your fears, because it's possible. It's not out of the total wrong possibility that once you get out of New York, it's going to be interesting how, Texas receives her this week, and wherever they go until you get to Clash of Champions, and see how they take to her. If she's getting a big reaction every time, then you don't have to worry about it. I think certainly they know the Bayley story. I think everybody that's there understands what Bayley is, and you can have, with Sasha already, she's getting a shot after Clash of Champions. It's going to be interesting to see how Bayley's involved in that. Does Bayley go back to being Sasha's buddy, or is it a 3-person feud for a while?
Good point.
But yeah, that's pretty much all of Raw. I mean, Bayley did have a match with Dana, but it's basically the Bayley showcase.
Yeah.
I mean, Dana got a lot more in than you see like on the NXT squash or something, but still basically to tell you, okay, this is what Bayley does. You never seen her, which I think is a good idea.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
So yeah, just a rating here.
I'm going to give it. Of course, we had the debut of Bayley. We had some other things that were pretty good. We had some good matches on this show. Not everything was great. Sean mentioned that the second hour was, I'm surprised people made it to the third hour if they were watching it live. Saying all that, I'm going to go with 6. I mean, I think it's a little bit below what I wanted to see. I'm thrilled about Bayley. I'm thrilled about some of these good matches, but it wasn't enough to save this show and thrill me, and I kind of was sour on that last part with Roman Reigns. So I'm giving 6.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with 6 as well. There was some bad stuff in here, like Titus and Darren, and there was some really good stuff in here, like the Bayley moment, and the Rollins and Zayn match, and basically quite a few of the other matches on the show. It's more about let's see where next week goes. Now that we've sort of built everything up to next week, it seems like a big deal.
Yeah, and we're talking about after WrestleMania, they've got to have the hangover show. They've got to have the show that kind of addresses a lot of SummerSlam and, of course, WrestleMania, and those big shows always have that. So there's a lot of new beginnings here and a lot of things that are going to be taking place. And so, this is hopefully leading up to better Raws, to things that, can really excite us. And I'll be looking forward to that. So, anyway, we are going to get out of here. Just to let everybody know, you can find us every week on Wrestling to the Max. That's our regular podcast. We have part 1 on Monday nights and, of course, part 2 on Thursday nights. You can find both of them on the download the next day. You can, of course, once again, find us Wednesday mornings and Friday mornings on the download for Wrestling to the Max. And you can find these review shows also on those same days. Now, we'll be doing the Raw like we're doing right now. That'll be available, of course, if when you're listening to this, you're probably listening to it on a Tuesday. And, of course, you'll get a chance to listen to SmackDown on Wednesday. So I hope you guys go check the SmackDown show. We probably will have a lot of cool things to say about that following the SummerSlam we just watched. And, of course, we had some extras this weekend. If you did not get a chance to hear it, we did a SummerSlam show. We talked about a lot invested when it comes to that world. That was a Wrestling Unwrapped to the Max. If you're looking for that, you don't want to miss it. It was really great. And, of course, we did an NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 2 W2M Extra also. You want to find all that easy? Go to the W2M Network. Go subscribe. You'll get it all in one swoop. Easy as pie. So, anyway, saying all that, guys.
Oh, hold on before we get out of here.
Go ahead.
I keep forgetting to do this. I did do a poll in the Facebook group, which, again, you guys should go join that because it has awesome people in it that you should go talk to. We had 9 people give it a 6, so they agree with us, Gary. You had 3 people give it a 5, and you had 3 people give it a 3.
Oh, wow.
So
it's pretty low.
at least there was nothing way. SummerSlam was very up and down. This a lot more in that range of people sort of feeling a certain way about the show.
Exactly, and the Finn Balor thing was a big bummer. That starts out the show in a very sad light. So it is what it is. But anyway, thanks everybody for checking us out once again. We will be back, of course, next Monday night to do Raw once again. But until then, if you're not living life to the max, guys,
you're not living life at all.
You know it.
Please.
Later.